drinking? That's a cool can.
Drinking a Stillwater Spaced beer.
Oh shit, that's a cool can.
Their beer's pretty good. It's a lower alcohol.
Where they
How low?
3.8%, which is a low gravity IPA. Pretty low for an IPA. Where are they out of though? I think it's DC, but their shit's pretty good.
It says artisanal right on the can.
Uh-huh.
You know that's some serious shit.
Everything about this was crafted.
Especially that design.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hypnotic.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Let's check it out.
Good podcasting beer.
Where'd you get it?
At that beer distributor by where the BBT used to be.
Gotcha.
Which is closed now, which is weird.
Wait, it's closed?
The BBT?
Oh yeah, it's for sale.
Yeah.
Well, you can rent it now. And they kept the kitchen and the bar, and like they've tried to like turn it into like a bonus. Like, hey, make your own pierogies. It's the weirdest
Hipster
listing.
loft with built-in bar.
Yeah. Hopefully they kept the bathroom exactly the same.
Anyone wants some B12?
Yeah.
Natural energy,
I'll take a
man.
B12.
Perk you up.
Wait, these chewable?
No, let it dissolve. Are you
Chewing the shit out of it.
You're supposed to let it dissolve. It's a lozenge. It's supposed to absorb in your mouth. Like, apparently that's how you get better B12, is it gets absorbed through your mouth tissue. So,
Well, I'm doing it.
Peachy.
yeah, it's peach flavor. Suitable for vegetarians and vegans.
All right. Do we want to talk about Superbooth? Or should we wait for these lozenges to finish?
I'm trying to get my mind sharp so I'm not all stupid like last time.
Well, how long does it take to kick in? Am I gonna get to like the speed?
Usually like 20 minutes. No, it doesn't like speed you up. You'll just all of a sudden like I notice I can think more clearly. It like lifts the brain fog. You know? And then next thing I know, it's 3 days later and I haven't slept. You know?
Superbooth.
Superbooth.
Yeah.
So many exciting things.
There are. How do we want to tackle going through this order? Was there anything anybody absolutely hated? I feel like getting with the fervor, getting it out of our system. What are the things that we hated?
I think there's two big things right off the bat that we can probably bitch about. Number one, I can see it in Nick's eyes. Behringer.
Oh, yeah. That's one of them. For sure. Yeah. The clones. The Clone Wars.
And it's not just a few clones.
There's all of them.
That is a tremendous lineup.
That's a
of
clone
crap.
army.
It is.
Which, like, you got to kind of respect it in some way. They're just going for it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like no balls about it. That's like a pro one. But it's like, I don't get it. I don't get why they would, I don't know. They're going to be cheap. If that 808 is going to be like $100,
Yeah.
that would be crazy.
Not legal isn't probably the right word for this, but like
Ethical.
yes. How were they
Yeah.
like? How did somebody go? This is a great idea. Let's just fucking do this. Because it's not like people aren't going to notice.
I don't even think we can blame them, dude. People have been begging for this shit for years.
It's true.
On every forum, for years now, you always see, why can't Behringer just make an 808? You know, while everyone's been waiting for like Roland to reproduce this stuff. So like we've, as a people, have finally got what we've asked for, I guess.
But that doesn't like people asking you to do something doesn't get you out of like ethical quandaries. It's
No,
not like
but it
someone
shows there's a market there.
like someone can ask for a million things. The whole thing.
$20 is $20, Dave.
That's true.
Yeah. I was going to say, I might need to change my life based on what you're saying right now, Dave. Maybe I've been doing things the wrong way.
There's the Pro One, the 808.
Yeah.
The
101, the M101 or something like that.
I mean, it's full on. That knockoff even has the handle for
Oh yeah, the key grip.
the key grip. I mean, that's
Keytar
pretty a
style,
detailed clone.
Yeah. Oh, it looks, very similar to one. Dude, when I was scrolling through like the Superbooth announcements, I didn't realize what I was looking at first. I thought it was a 101. And I was like, wait a minute. And I did a double take and I was like, what the hell is this?
But they added some things, like they added like a triangle waveform, which it doesn't have. Like they picked some things out of all of them that they kind of modified, which is kind of weird.
Right. And this was like a couple weeks after they had released. There was a series of Eurorack clones.
Yeah. It's meant to be like the Roland 500 series.
Yeah.
Right.
As a Behringer knockoff.
But I mean, Roland
But
is doing
yes.
their own 500
Yes, they
series,
are.
so
which is powered by Maleco, actually.
Yeah.
Josh has been the one like spearheading that whole project, and now Behringer just kind of came out and gave him a dirty Sanchez. But
But they're even like cloning the updates that people made. Like they have the 3 filters from the Korg ARP Odyssey, like exactly the way that the Korg one did it. Like, it's kind of interesting what they're picking. And they have the drive circuit from the new Korg ARP Odyssey that wasn't on the original.
the built-in compressor on the 808, like the TR8 had, things like that. Yeah. Every video blew my mind, dude. Like, you see all these Superbooth videos, they're in the con, you know what I mean? Like, they're in a busy hallway, lots of noise, people everywhere, all these booths set up, and then you cut to the Behringer video, and it's just the dude and a camera guy in a completely dead silent room, God knows where. It's like they found a closet somewhere where they could set up this super secret demo, and they're like whispering, like
Cutting lines.
yeah,
Like, check this out.
This is the real deal shit, man. We got the clone
Right off the boat.
But they knew they were being recorded, right? Like it wasn't one of those things like.
but
hey,
it's like they had to hide from the rest of the convention. Like they thought they were gonna get stabbed or something. So they're, like super secret. Like it was just shady as hell, like all around.
Yeah.
But Sonic State, they got in, man. They got behind the lines and they got video, like everything.
do you think that conversation started? Hey man, you're not wearing a wire, are you?
Something
no,
like that.
no, I'm fine.
They weren't answering questions either. Like Nick, right, from Sonic State, was the one interviewing the Behringer guys first. Like, he got in there with an 808. He was, like, asking pretty direct questions. And he just kept being like, yes, 808. Like, that was his answer. Like, he was just, like, dodging every question and every detail. Couldn't give price. Couldn't give, like, no details. But it was strange.
There's even one of the videos. There's no audio. He's just holding it and talking to the guy, and he won't play it.
Yep. We came up with a bunch of prototypes that look like they're functional just in time for Superbooth so that we could make this announcement and get the hype train rolling in our secret Superbooth closet.
And some of it sounded pretty prototype too. Like that 101.
I did not like it. No.
Never owned one, but it didn't sound like that when I used one. The 808 was like, you know, the TR8, you can complain about it and be like, oh, that doesn't sound like 808, which I've done before. That thing sounds amazingly close to an 808 compared to the DR 808 that they had, which did not to me. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what the prices are on some of this shit and if people like, you really want that? You're going to want that over like the TR8S or something? You know, that'd be my question.
It would probably have to be like half the price for people to even consider, in my opinion. I don't know, but who knows?
But I've read good reviews about the Moog clone thing that they made. It's apparently pretty good. Sounded like, I couldn't tell a damn difference. Sounded like a freaking Model D.
I was surprised how much the 101 didn't sound like a 101.
Yeah.
You know, because I figured that would be one of the easiest things to clone. You know, but like that demo, it just did not sound good or like a 101. No. I was just like, all right, that has to be like $100 at best. You know what I mean? To even consider something like that. Aside from Behringer, the other thing that kind of grinded my gears was that Endorphins.
Black Noir.
Black Noir, yeah.
It sounded like garbage.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I swear, dude, people like weren't hearing the same demo that I was, because the threads concerning it were all like, oh my god, it's so fat, it's so big sounding. I'm just like, I'm not hearing that. I'm really not. Like, the kick sounded decent at best. Everything else sounded very lo-fi,
Thin.
real
thin.
Very
lo-fi thin. Like, it sounded like an LXR, but not even as good as an LXR.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, LXR has that like aliased sound to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of bit crunchy, and it's, you know, that's nice. That's part of the character of that machine. But to get something that's being advertised as like dark wave and dark techno and all this shit, and then like hearing that, I'm like, I'm not hearing that. I listened to the demo twice because like, did I just miss something the first time through? And the second time I was like, no, I'm not feeling that. I would not spend the money on that. You know, I don't know. But then on the other side of the coin, I listened to the demo of the Erica synths and their drum modules, and they also specifically, you know, are catering to a specific genre, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like, in every video, they said, you know, industrial techno. And I'm like, okay, when you drop that fucking name, I'm going to have a specific sound and standard that it got to meet. And I listened to that video and I said, fuck yeah. I said, that's nailing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, these guys are nailing it. And it's not just the drum synths, like they got the whole lineup, a whole system mapped out there.
Yeah.
They had the drum sampler they revealed.
That looked really cool.
Yeah.
Which I think is 2 sampler in one. He said it's basically like an evolved expansion of the Pico drum technology.
Mm-hmm.
You can adjust start and stop, or start and end points of the samples, and
And it has a screen, right?
yes,
Yeah, that's a nice addition.
you can see the waveform and all that jazz. Pretty cool. The bassline module, which is, I think it had 3 different modes of like bass osc, plus it has the acid box filter, so it's like pretty acidic 303-ish, which is kind of cool. The entire lineup of like a 909 inspired system, kick, tom, cymbal, hats, all that jazz, snare. And then they had the dual channel distortion,
Yeah.
which looks pretty killer. 3 different modes on there.
Even by itself, that seemed like a great module.
Yeah.
Because that was the one where everything was going through, and he turned that on, and just everything just changed.
Yep.
It sounded fantastic.
Yeah, I guess you could run that in parallel or series,
Mm-hmm.
or stereo if you wanted. You know, it's pretty compact and sounded great, and it's pretty versatile for a distortion module. And then the mixer itself also has a built-in compressor. It's 7-channel mixer, like real compact, and it's got onboard compressor, so you could further slam and distort, I guess, if you wanted to take it in that direction. And then the 2-channel effects, it looked like similar to the dual channel distortion. You know what I mean? You could run it the same way in parallel or series or whatever. And it's got, I guess, a selection of the algorithms from the Black DSP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of it would be a good accompaniment to the mixer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bounce out a couple send and returns through that thing.
Yeah, and it's cool because they've always had, we've always seen them at KnobCon like playing live techno stuff on their modular. So it was cool to see them kind of drive that idea a little further, you know?
Yeah, not just talk about their product, but show it in action, which is pretty cool.
We kind of walked away from things that looked like shit a little early.
Let's circle back.
So I had another one.
Back
Yes,
to the
yes,
dung
by all
pile.
means.
The Teenage Engineering OPZ.
What does it do again?
It is apparently nothing but a hardware sequencer for an iPhone app. That's
I
it.
totally missed that. I didn't even see that.
That's the gray one, right?
It's the
no
gray-
screen.
No screen, and it doesn't do anything until it is a beta. And this is them based on this video and them talking about it. But it only works with this iPhone app, and like it seems like it's integrated pretty well. Like they pressed a little button, and then the screen on the iPhone app said filter sweep, and there was some sort of graphic indication. It was cute. And they were emphasizing that it was a sequencer. I'm like, why would you need this dedicated thing to sequence a fucking app? Like it just seemed like a huge fucking misfire compared to the OP1, which
If you don't understand its usefulness, Dave,
yeah,
then it's just obviously not for you.
it's above me.
Yeah.
Like most things are.
You just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I'm wallowing in the dirt. But I was blown away. I was like, I mean, they've made other interesting things. This just seems insanely fucking stupid. Like the whole thing could just be surfaced in the app, and then you don't have to spend what I'm sure is going to be a lot of money, because their shit's not. I mean, except for the barcode operators, their shit's not cheap.
No.
They've been working on it for years, too.
I remember every
really?
NAMM, everyone was hoping that there would be some word about it. Yeah. But
Yeah, this is at least 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, if that's the result of it, that's shocking.
Yeah, I thought it was like a video synth or some shit like that.
No.
That's something else that I think they still haven't announced that they've been working on forever. Is the video thing that's been rumored forever.
I had the OP1 48 hours.
Did you really?
Yeah, 48 hours, and I was like, nope. Right back on eBay.
So what didn't you like about the OP1?
The sync stuff, it wouldn't sync unless you got the fancy sync box that you couldn't buy at all. So I was immediately like, all right, well, I can't do anything with it. I don't know why I got it in the first place. But then I tried it and was like, oh, let's see what I can get out of it, and didn't get. I don't know. It just seemed like I was fighting through this novel interface to try to make music,
Right.
instead of like, oh, this cool like little video game helps me make a song or something like that. It was, I don't know, it's not what I'm trying to do.
I just stumbled upon one of my other notes while we're talking about stuff to shit on.
Yes.
The new ZDSP.
So wait, is that actually going to be qualified as a new ZDSP, or is it just a new fucking panel?
Nope.
What's different
It's
about
considered Mark II. What's different about it? More headroom for the feedback path.
Are you fucking kidding?
No. And a very ugly panel.
I mean, I get it. They've got some sort of idea that that's their new aesthetic, and it looks like shit. Okay, fine. You got a new panel.
Oh
or
wow,
whatever.
that looks bad. That looks like shit. They've really jumped the shark.
You look at it, and it's the exact same parameters. It's the exact same knobs.
It's the exact same module, but they said they've redone the hardware behind it, and they said it's a little better quality and more. I think it's 10 decibels less before it like clips out on the feedback channels.
Yeah.
So if you had a problem, turning the knob to turn the gain down, problem solved now.
They helped you. Weren't they going to do the mini though? That was the
Yeah.
thing, right?
They've never confirmed that.
Yeah.
Everyone has been wanting one forever, and that's what everyone thought this meant. 'Cause it was
Yeah.
right before Superbooth. They announced that the ZDSP is now end of life, this version. And everyone was like, oh, sweet. Can't wait to see what they announce at Superbooth. And then that's what they dropped on us. Like us already owning one, it has a place in our system. But if you're building a system and you wanted a DSP effects module, what are you going to pick at that point? Are you going to get the new ugly ZDSP? Or are you going to get the black hole DSP2? Or
the
a couple Pico DSPs? There's other options now,
That new aesthetic just looks bad.
Looks like a pickle. Noise engineering. The mimetic digitalis,
Yeah.
Yes.
now available and shipping.
I've got one on pre-order. It has not shipped yet.
Do we want to explain to our listeners what it is?
It looks like a smaller voltage block to me, like something where you can do parameter locky kind of recording, but you can also step through any of those steps on like this little 4x4 grid you get, edit those notes, but also do randomization of any pitch on the scale or randomization within one octave, which is a pretty cool feature.
That is cool. I didn't know
They said
that.
they built it mainly just for live use. Like it was multiple years of like, we want to build a little live sequencer. And I was like, cool. That's kind of what I'm looking for. A lot of quick ability to record pitch sequence and CV to send to stuff. So hoping it can fill the bill there. But it's again, there's no way to get sequences back out, which is fine. And it's like 16 banks of 4 CVs that are pitched. So that's kind of what you have to work with.
I did see you have like an undo function on there, which is cool though.
Yeah,
Like
that is
there's no way
nice.
to bounce patterns out, but like if you have a pattern set and you're tweaking it live and you want to go right back to where you were, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can dupe them pretty easy in
Nice.
there too, which is nice. Seems you can make variations pretty quick.
Did I also see something about them doing Reason plugins? How did that come about? They want to know?
that was another surprise where it looks like they're doing sound generating Reason extensions, like variations of the localic and Basimilus engines that do certain parts. I'm sure it's using some of the exact same code because they probably had the ability to port it over. But I didn't dig in much further than that because I don't have Reason. So
Yeah, same here.
that's kind of where my interest stops. But it looked cool. It sounded good when I heard the samples. But it's nice to see that they would kind of contribute something like that.
I didn't even realize that kind of contribution was still an active thing with Reason because I don't follow it at all. I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, Reason now, not only do they have the like third party rack stuff that you can buy separately and some are free, they also like have VST support type stuff now. So they've really opened it up over the last couple of years compared to what it was. It's about time, it's what everyone's been asking for forever with Reason. So But yeah, that's kind of cool. It's the type of thing that I would expect to see in like Reactor.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like noise
exactly.
engineering, Reactor block or something. Like seeing it in Reason, like that's pretty cool. It tempts me to want to get back into Reason, honestly. You know what I mean? Like that sounds cool.
Well, speaking about programming, then there was that weird Korg Prolog programmer board.
Oh yeah, what's up with that?
So apparently, it was only available at Superbooth. It was like an experiment, and it's not going to be readily available. And it's just one single processor, but it has all of the audio in and out and CV capability of just like one of the processors from the Prolog. And the idea is that somebody who was interested in writing code, you could go up to Superbooth, get one of these. All the code is in C, so it's pretty low level stuff as far as like programming. But it was enough for you to write and see that, you know, your idea would work on one of these single processor. And you're basically just confirming that your code would work on one of the however many the Prolog has. And yeah, it was just a way to start experimenting with programming for it.
Wow. It'd be really cool if they would put like a graphical front end on it and you could do like more modular style, make like a single voice and like design patches or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be interesting.
Do we want to talk about that now?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. 'Cause we just were. Scott was there at Superbooth from Industrial Music Electronics, and AKA the Harvest Man, as he will forever be in our hearts.
Yeah.
And it was like a 45-minute video, just talking about like the Piston Honda Mark III.
Wait, was that from Superbooth, or was that the release party that was before Superbooth?
Oh fuck, you're
That
right.
was the release party before it. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, and it was. I think it was in Portland,
Oh, my bad.
but it was like a day, like 2 days before Superbooth. So I think it counts.
It kind of all blurred together in my head, but yeah, absolutely, I think you're right. Well, regardless, let's lump it in with Superbooth announcements,
I'm
I
fine.
guess, because yeah, it's shipping now. It's out like as of this weekend. Like you can buy the Piston Mark III. I haven't pre-ordered one, but it's definitely on my like to get list in the very near future. And I was explaining to Nick how it doesn't have LFO mode anymore, but it has 2 oscillators. And we were just saying it would be cool if you could have had like the second oscillator in LFO mode. Or
I was gonna say, does it go down to LFO rates?
I don't think it does. And I was reading online, like, I can't remember if he mentioned in the video, but something about like the high fidelity-ness of it prevented him to be able to do that. Like, I guess you couldn't have both. Like, being able to go into LFO mode, I guess, kind of jacked up the quality a bit. The fact is, it's not there anymore, like it is on the Mark II.
Right, right.
But there are a lot of more interesting features that he put in there, like the preset saving, the preset morphing.
The preset morphing is.
That's nice.
I got a little jealous because that's something I really wish the graphic VCO had, and it doesn't. And I hope
Not yet, at least.
I assume that's going to be there eventually, but I have to admit, I was like, oh, that has it right out the gate.
Yeah, and
Just
apparently
like
you can tweak like exactly what you want it to randomize, and you can have like per gate triggered randomization and unison mode on both oscillators, where you can have like, I guess it's up to 4 copies of like the detune.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
you can kind of get into like 352 territory where you're kind of making a cloud at that point. You know what I mean, of the waveforms, which is something I like a lot of the 352. So it'll be cool to be able to get into that type of stuff in the weirdo piston realm. You know, still has the processing mode, which is pretty cool. Just seeing the capabilities of the Piston Mark III makes me even more excited for the BFF at this point. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure it's going to be similar. It's going to be a synth designed around the piston, basically. You know what I mean?
That's what I would hope for.
Yeah.
You know.
Paul's going to hate me. I sold the 352.
Wait, what did he call you? It's like a shithead or something?
What was it?
I forget.
Oh, what the fuck was it?
But I felt very honored to be called a name from Paul.
Paul, if you're listening, What did you
It was
call
like
it,
a
Greg?
dunderhead or something
Yeah,
like
it was
that. It was
not-
something like old-timey.
It was not a recent insult. What else was there on everyone's lists?
The XAOC thing. Do you know they want you to pronounce that as chaos? That kind of bugs me.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
I pronounce it Xaoc.
Yeah, it's Xaoc.
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 Kneel before Xaoc.
See, I think that's a real bummer because I'm really excited about the Zadar, which I was already a little on the fence about calling it that. To hear that I'm supposed to call this chaos.
Xaoc Zadar.
I'm not calling it that. But the Zadar is that looks awesome.
Zadar looks fucking dope.
So I was really fired up for it because I'm finally at long last getting rid of my double Andor. Yeah, gasps. Yeah. With the pink noise chip. So I've been on the lookout for like another digital envelope generator, and this one looks kind of bonkers. So it's a 4-channel, 200 different digital envelopes, and then there's tons of ways to like morph those. You can flip it.
You can like bend them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real appealing.
Yeah, I remember them saying that you can't write your own like you can with the OmniMod, but it looks like there's enough flexibility there where
you will not miss being able to
Right.
draw it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all kinds of different stuff. It wasn't, I mean, it had like your basic ADSR, linear. Like it went from that to sort of like noise. And the fact that it's 4-channel actually makes it even more appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With assignable CV input, so you can pick which parameter you want it to affect, which is pretty cool. I think it kind of fills a gap. I still think that there's like a gap with envelopes in modular. And overall, it's just people really haven't taken it to any interesting levels.
I mean, especially like with digital envelopes. I mean, when I was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of the double Andor, what else is out there? And it was a handful of things.
Yeah. Like
Now
almost
envelopes, fucking
dime a
millions.
dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would make a nice substitute for those who didn't want to get involved with the OmniMod mess also.
Yeah.
Like personally, I still would like an OmniMod, but I just don't.
Same.
I don't trust it. This looks like it does exactly what I was going to use an OmniMod for to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about all the extra weird features that he was putting in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted a very versatile digital envelope, wave shape based, you know what I mean? That you could mutate in interesting ways. And it seems like that's exactly what this is. How about you, Dave?
All I have is the graphic VCO from Erica Synths. We were playing with it earlier before we started recording. I'm stoked on everything so far, and it looks like they're even going to be adding new stuff on top of that. It's a digital wavetable oscillator, and it's got a bunch of different modes. One is AB, where you morph between two wave shape. The other one is a single wavetable, and you sort of morph it. And the last is this matrix, where you have you set the boundaries, and it goes through all of the wavetables in it, and the X and Y controls the sort of shifting between the wavetables. And so there's different effects you can apply, like FM, overdrive, crush. There's a huge list of them. And then the different snapshots. So as you save a setting, then there's a bank of these snapshots, and then you can just go through and pick those as you need to. Like Greg was asking, it would be cool if there was a way to cycle through the snapshots you've created, but as of yet there isn't.
Be cool if you could morph between them.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, morphing or just sequencing.
Just sequencing between them, because right now, right now you've got to like go into that menu, hit and select it, and then open that menu again and go back to it. But like I said, it looks like they're adding new stuff too. There's like coming soon type of like little boxes. So it doesn't seem like they're done with it quite yet. But what's there is already amazing.
Fuck how it sounds, dude. That thing looks fantastic.
Yeah.
That panel with like the little stars and the comet.
Yeah.
And the I love the black IntelliGel knobs and caps.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've done my whole system with. So props to them for good knob choice right there.
Yeah, it's aesthetically very pleasing.
Yeah.
And there's an oscilloscope that, if you're so inclined, you can just sit and stare at for hours. Everything visually about it is also.
I mean, it is a graphic VCO, so
Oh, it should have graphics.
it's gotta be eye catching.
Yeah,
They did a good job there.
yeah. Is there anything I'm forgetting to mention?
The sub oscillator.
Oh, the sub oscillator.
That was pretty.
Yeah,
that was
so
a nice touch.
It is a nice touch because there's two outs. The first out is without the sub oscillator, and the second one, you can then mix how much of the sub oscillator and the original signal comes out of that, and you can go all the way down to just the sub oscillator, but all the way back up to just without it. And there's a bunch of choices for the sub oscillator, like how much it's detuned, and also which wave shape the sub oscillator is going to be. And you got a couple of basic ones, your triangle, sine wave, square wave, what you would expect. But also it can be one of the wavetables. You can just choose one of the wavetables, or it can actually just be a copy of the original signal, and then it's just detuned.
It's kind of like like we were saying earlier, like a better version of the Orthogonal accumulator in a lot of ways. Yeah, I like that module. Of course, we both have them. It always frustrated me that the tuning range was so limited. It's kind of like, I think the reason we're getting some of these things is because they're like frustrations with some of these earlier modules that people have like said, oh, this is a problem, like, and fixed it, whether it's their company or not.
Again, before we started recording, we were talking about I had a Pittsburgh generator for a really long time, and I really loved it. And then the noise engineering Localic replaced that for me. It just does all of that, and then a million times more. Like, it's that on, like, cranked up. And the same thing with the graphic VCO is the Orgon cranked up. It's it's addressing all of its deficiencies. It does everything that I loved that module does, and more.
Evolving.
Yes, yeah.
It's got a nice visual display for everything that you do on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
And you're only about one step removed from everything. There's a sort of main menu with 8 selection, and you can go through that really quickly, and then you just go to one other screen. It is not a huge dive.
Yeah, it's not like a shapeshifter, which is kind of like the opposite. Yeah, that seems like really menu driven. This seems like they did a really good job with the UX on it.
Yeah, totally great. And I mean, there's a dedicated back button for every one of them. So you're going in, you hit the back button, and
that is what the shapeshifter needed.
Yeah,
just a simple back button. It would have helped a lot. I've played with pretty much every wavetable OS that I've been able to get my hands on. You know what I mean? And it reminds me of a weird combination of like Orgon, Cyclebox, and Piston Honda. You know what I mean? With like the XY that you can do on there and everything. It's so pretty slick.
As of right now, I haven't made my own wavetables. Basically, I only got this like a week ago, so I'm still
what
in
the
like.
Fuck, Dave?
Once again, I have failed. But even with just like the stuff that it comes with, crazy ass sounds.
Oh, so you just like presets now?
I love presets now.
You haven't hand drawn every wave manually.
No. I did play with
in Etch-a-Sketch mode.
It is straight up Etch-a-Sketch. Maybe with a little bit of practice, I'd be able to do it faster. But my first experiments with drawing a wave shape was a little grueling. And I love tedious tasks. And even I was grueling.
We saw that video with them recently.
Oh yeah, the Erica Synths.
Yeah.
It was a very nicely shot, like them explaining where they are in Latvia, like the city that they're in, and their weird basement podcast thing.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I didn't know that they were doing that until I saw the video, and I was like, oh, I would check that out.
Yeah, seriously.
I would hang out with those people. Yeah, I remember seeing the dude with the mohawk, like demo and stuff. I think that was at KnobCon or something. Or maybe it was in a video. I can't remember, but I was like, yeah, these guys look cool. And then like all the stuff they've been putting out lately, it's like, okay, yeah, these guys get it.
Yeah. Also a Geiger counter.
I love the little format of the box,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, the yellow red color scheme is just such an eyesore.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first orders apparently to ship out, and I didn't know it at the time, but there was a limited run. Very limited run of like a gray box.
Oh.
Dark gray. Yeah, and I was like, son of a bitch. And by the time I found out, like, it was too late for me to like change my order, and they were already sold out.
That sucks.
I was really bummed. I was like, I would have really enjoyed the limited edition, but
Yeah. I just hate the color yellow. It's
yeah,
disgusting.
I'm not a fan.
But it
And
also
it's like a Pittsburgh color, so it's
Yeah.
like everywhere in
Fucking
this
everywhere.
fucking city. But
this also
yeah.
that makes it look like Metasonics.
Yeah,
Or
would
like-
even rather like radioactive green or something.
Yeah.
Black,
That
but
would've
more
been
than
cool.
yellow. Which I always think of like Metasonics are like fucking traffic sign, like road signs.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Or McDonald's.
Or McDonald's.
Yeah, because that's supposed to stimulate appetite, or just like the hunger. The colors in McDonald's were chosen for a reason.
The hunger.
It gives you hunger.
it's ketchup mustard colors,
Yeah.
condiments.
I do. I'm
I
kind of hungry
love
now.
condiments.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry now.
We could all eat this pedal.
We could.
There's probably almost no nutritional value in it. And I'm just gonna break my teeth.
Well, it is full of sonic goodness.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, if you break your teeth, we can drink the blood.
No, I do love the box. It's a pretty large improvement over the original Geiger counters. It's been a long time coming, this version. You know what I mean? It's been rumored and hyped up for a few years now, but I suppose it was worth the wait. It's got a bunch of new shit. And just the quality overall, I feel like the sound quality is pretty nice. It goes higher up. It's not just 8-bit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You got a higher sample rate, higher bit rate, and just the wave bank itself is much larger. I don't know if they did, but it sounds like they did make improvements over the preamp. It just sounds a little cleaner,
Mm-hmm.
and it reminds me of the same preamp that's in the Trash Masters.
Mm.
And it's got a nice balance with all of it, because you have your wet dry, the level of the preset, and then the master volume.
Right.
So you can get a nice balance with everything in there. You can CV the tone now.
That's cool.
Yeah, which you couldn't do before. That was something I actually emailed WMD when I first bought the module like years back. I said, I love, tweaking this tone knob on the modules. Like, is there any way to CV the gain and tone? And you said at the time it wasn't possible. Now it is on this
nice.
pedal, so that's pretty sweet. You can CV both, gain, tone, all that. You get 2 assignable CV inputs, which is pretty cool. I mean, I would rather this was a module, but the fact that it's not, and you can still CV it, is pretty cool.
So, what are all the other knobs on this?
There isn't really any new knobs aside from like the master and the level and stuff like that. But you can save presets now, which is nice.
Oh, that is cool.
And you can also, there's a rand button. You can just randomize a preset, find something you like, save it. You don't even really need to touch the knobs if you don't want to. You know what I mean?
Like if you had a preset and you wanted to load another one, is it smooth or is it like cut out?
It's real smooth.
Oh, okay, cool.
You got a preset up, preset down knobs here.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's still stomp pedal format.
Yeah.
So if this was a module, I think it would be nice to have CV control over that randomize function and the presets. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a bunch saved and then CV sweep through them or sequence them or whatever. Maybe hit the random function with a gate to just generate some new chaos.
Is random everything random?
I believe so.
Okay, it's not limited to certain things.
It might be. Like, I don't know if it would hit the gain and tone. That's a very good question. Or the wet and dry, because that would be kind of... Oh, yeah, it does. It definitely hits everything, because you can see the LED indicators for the tone change and the wet dry change. So, yeah.
We could probably insert a sample right here.
Insert sample here.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about the 301, you said there's a new firmware you just installed recently, which
So
does
he
time
just
stretching?
it's got, so there are new sample types where there's like a clocked player that will time stretch, and it'll even respect the slices that you have set up, and it'll time stretch those individually when you send it like a group of slices. So you can play that stuff, so just send it a clock, and it'll like Ableton style be like, okay, this is how long you wanted me to play it, right? And then there's also the one that does not, that will affect the pitch only. So you can send like a loop in, and it'll actually repitch it, so you don't get the time stretching effect. He put another bunch of stuff in here, but man, it's crazy how much he's adding to this platform.
And the Digitag doesn't do any of that.
No looping. And with the pedal loopers now, you can record like perfect loops, put them in a buffer, load them into that clock time stretch thing, and it's just what you would expect it to be. So
Interesting.
It's nuts that he keeps like, it's just, honestly, I have problems right now with Scorp because my Pyramid touchpad's lifting. They've delayed their release for the 4th month now. I don't buy it, man. This is a one-man shop running the 301, building them all, supporting it all. Somehow he has a clear roadmap. Somehow people know when the next units will be available. He never misses his dates. He just told everybody on the forum, he's like, oh, I'm going on a bike trip for a month. Don't bother calling me or like emailing me.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. Have fun, man. You know, I'm not going to be expecting anything from you. Yeah. Whereas if you keep pushing a release like Electron and Scorp, it's like, why am I fucking with you?
Yeah.
Like, this shit doesn't work. He added slicing stuff. Oh, he finally added like sustain loop. So if you hold down, it'll play the sample and then you define a loop and then it'll loop through that part of it until you let it go, which actually the Bitbox added, and that one's even more flexible. The Bitbox, they really took that to the next level. But the slicing, like the spectral slicing, I was like, why would you want that? And I'm like, oh yeah, in field recordings, it like slices on spectral energy instead of threshold, so you can have a noisy ass mic and it won't matter until you get to like whatever you're going for, and then it'll slice it there. I'm like, man, you're fucking smart. Yeah, there are lots of cool granular stuff he's added. Like the stretch one is actually a granular clock stretch too. So you have some granular controls over it. There's different noise types. Like you can take there's a velvet noise in there, which I'd never heard of before. Yeah, right?
I've never even heard of that.
But you can take that and you can pitch it down real far and assign it to like slices. Like I think that M-Logger dude is doing, it's like true randomization. But you can control that too. So you can have like only an amount of that randomization offset and attenuated to the range you're going for. Yeah, and then you can have that pointed to slices. Like, it's crazy. I think I told you guys this too. You can take like a whole folder of samples, be like, load this up and make it into a sliced up thing. And it'll be like, just take the starts and ends, put the slice there so you can have all that stuff just on one channel and then scan through it with CCs.
Wow.
Or CVs.
CC's Pizza.
Yes.
All you can eat.
CC DeVille from Poison.